Hello everybody, welcome back to Wellness Wednesday. For the last Wednesday of March, we're going to talk about spring allergies. So many people that I'm seeing these days are suffering from runny nose, watery eyes. They've got pain up here, they've got pain here, and they're just miserable. So how do we help these people? How do we help you if you're one of these people? Well, let's think about our sinuses for a second and understand that the sinus cavity is a little space, a little hollow space in our bone that allows for equalizing pressure inside our cranium and inside our skull. And we especially use it if we fly an airplane and things like that. If we dive and we need to equalize pressures and so forth. So when this gets full of congestion, then we start to get things like sinus headaches, pain in our face. It's very uncomfortable. And so what can we do to help ourselves through this time of year? Well, some of the things I'm going to tell you about are symptom treatment, and some are going to be more permanent treatments. But one of the things you can do for yourself symptom-wise is you can go down to a drugstore and you can buy a Neti Pot, N-E-T-T-I, Neti Pot. A Neti Pot looks a little bit like a teapot, and it's usually plastic, and it has usually salt packets with it so that you can put some salt in the pot, fill it up to a certain level with water, and it creates this proper salinity that's comfortable when you run some of it up into your nostrils. And usually what you do is you tilt your head to the side and you run some water up one nostril, comes out the other, and you tilt it to the other side and it comes out the other nostril. Unless you're so congested and it just kind of stays plugged. But I will tell you that that is actually very soothing. Some people can't get past the idea of pouring water up there, but really to keep it from running down your throat, you're just using the same mechanism you use when you might jump in water, like in a pool. And you just kind of close off your mouth so you don't take in water into your nose. So it's very soothing, and it flushes and cleanses any of the pollens that you've gotten into your sinus passages from the day. It might be from lawn mowing, it might be just from being outside. Because this time of year, so many blooms are coming up that it's everywhere. You notice it on your car, it's just everywhere. And it's hard to avoid. So that's one thing you can do, buy a Neti Pot. Another thing you can do is go on, well, I'll tell you about a procedure that I do, I've learned over the last year and a half called NAET, N-A-E-T. NAET is a fantastic process that helps eliminate allergies, actually. And it stands for Natural Allergy Elimination Technique. That's what it stands for. So NAET is profoundly helpful for anybody that suffers from allergies, whether it's allergies from pet dander, allergies from foods, allergies from airborne grasses, pollens, flowering trees and shrubs, that type of thing. And then there's a whole different level of allergy, we might call it a sensitivity, where people just are not assimilating certain vitamins and minerals. And that causes another bunch of problems in the body. So I do that here in this office. So if you're interested in that, give us a call. If you're not anywhere near us, then go on NAET.com, N-A-E-T.com, and search out a NAET practitioner, because this stuff is worth its weight in gold if you really suffer from a lot of allergies, whether they're seasonal allergies or not. So that's something you can do that really helps long term. Now, I want to tell you something that happens this time of year. When people get sinus issues, it often progresses into a sinus infection. And so when you think about having congestion in your sinus cavity, I want you to think about a mud puddle. So to create a mud puddle, first of all, we have to have rain come down from above, from the sky, fill up the mud puddle, and then we have to have it has to stay there for a while, okay, to create that mud puddle. And most people's sinuses are a lot like that. They fill up with congestion, and then it just doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't move. And that is like a petri dish waiting for something to grow in it. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you watching today. So we don't want a petri dish growing here. We want to get rid of that stuff. And what I'll tell you is that many people rush to the doctor and they'll get an antibiotic, which is probably the worst thing they can do for a sinus infection, because most sinus infections studies show us, are fungal. They're not bacterial. If they were bacterial, the antibiotic might be appropriate, but most of them actually are fungal. So it's proper to use the right weapon for the war here. So there's two products I'm going to tell you about, and over the next month, the next 4 weeks, I'm going to give you, if you call in, I'll give you 20% off these products, okay? If you need these products. And the first one is called D-Hist. D-Hist, like hist as in histamine, so you can remember that, D-Hist. D-Hist has some things in it that help stabilize the mast cell in the body that spews out all this histamine. Okay, it just spews it out and it creates these runny nose and watery eye symptoms. So that's one good thing to take. I'm taking that right now myself. Another product, so the D-Hist stops the rain from coming down. Then we have this mud puddle that we need to dry up. So how do we do that? Well, the other product we want to use is called Sinotrol. Sinotrol has something in it, has a number of things in it, but one of the things it has, it helps dry up the sinuses without just completely drying us up like a decongestant would. And it's very soothing to the mucous membranes. It has natural anti-inflammatories in it at the same time to help us fight off whatever we're fighting. So those are two products, D-Hist and Sinotrol, that I'll tell you about that are really worthwhile. So good luck fighting this allergy season. I know you can get through it. And what I want to tell you is that for the month of April, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about brain health. We're going to talk about 5 areas of the brain: deep limbic, cingulate, basal ganglia, temporal lobes. And we're going to talk about these, and we're going to talk about specific things that we can do for each lobe, because each lobe has its own function. And if we have a malfunction with a lobe, like the cingulate area, we might have a tendency towards a certain aberrant behavior, all right, like OCD or just oppositional type behavior. So we're going to talk about the brain as an organ and what you can do for it. So join me for that. Call me for some D-Hist and Sinotrol, 417-336-2620. We are here to help you fall in love with the way you feel. Have a great day.